Have you ever wondered why some people leave this world with remarkable peace, while others seem restless, fearful, or unable to let go? Ancient spiritual traditions suggest that death is not simply the end of life. It is a profound transition, a doorway through which consciousness carries the impressions of an entire lifetime. Just before crossing that doorway, the soul faces what many sages describe as its final test. But what is this test? Do our past actions really return before death? Can forgotten memories and hidden desires suddenly rise to the surface? And if they do, can we prepare ourselves before that moment arrives? This journey is not about fearing death. It is about learning how to live so completely that when the final moment comes, nothing important remains unfinished. The Bhagavad Gita offers a powerful insight. Lord Krishna tells Arjuna that the state of mind at the moment of death influences the soul's onward journey. The final thought is not a matter of chance. It reflects the tendencies, attachments, and habits we have cultivated throughout our lives. Every action leaves an impression. Every repeated emotion deepens a pattern. Every attachment quietly shapes the mind. These subtle impressions, known as samskar, remain within us even when we are no longer aware of them. The Upanishad points toward the same truth. It teaches that when the soul leaves the body, it does not carry wealth, status, or possessions. It carries only the impressions created by its actions, intentions, and inner character. Many people who have come close to death describe an extraordinary experience, a vivid review of their lives. Moments they had completely forgotten seem to return with astonishing clarity. Words once spoken, choices once made, acts of kindness, moments of anger, promises fulfilled, and promises broken all appear before them like scenes from a film. Ancient sages saw this not as punishment, but as revelation. Throughout life, the mind hides painful memories beneath distraction. We stay busy with work, relationships, ambitions, and endless activity. But as the body grows weak and the senses begin to withdraw, those distractions lose their power. The deeper layers of the mind slowly open. What was buried begins to surface. It is like a lake becoming perfectly still. As the ripples disappear, everything lying beneath the surface becomes visible. In the same way, the final moments of life reveal not the person we tried to appear to be, but the person we have truly become. And that is where the real test begins. What unfolds during this final test? The Yogic tradition teaches that the body is sustained by prana, the vital life force. Throughout life, this energy keeps our attention flowing outward through the senses. We become absorbed in work, relationships, ambitions, pleasures, and worries, while the deeper layers of the mind remain hidden. As death approaches, this movement gradually reverses. The senses lose their hold on the outer world, the mind grows quieter, and the impressions stored deep within consciousness begin to emerge. Long forgotten memories, powerful emotions, and unfinished desires may suddenly appear with remarkable clarity. It is as though consciousness is reviewing everything it has accumulated before moving forward. Among these impressions, 3 are often the strongest. The first is unfulfilled desire. Every intense desire leaves behind momentum. Whether it is the longing for success, wealth, recognition, pleasure, or an unfinished dream, these desires continue to pull the mind toward what it still seeks. The second is unresolved regret. Perhaps someone was hurt and never forgiven. Perhaps an apology was never offered. Perhaps we ignored what we knew was right. Time may hide these memories, but it does not erase them. They remain within us until they are understood and released. The third is fear born from attachment. Love itself does not bind us. Attachment does. When our identity becomes tied to people, possessions, or achievements, the fear of losing them naturally follows. Near the end of life, these attachments can become the strongest chains holding the mind. Together, desire, regret, and attachment shape the state of consciousness at the final moment. Think of restarting a computer. When it reboots, it loads the operating system already stored within it. It does not become something new. In the same way, the final moment does not create our inner nature. It simply reveals the patterns we have built through years of thoughts, actions, and choices. A similar insight appears in the Tibetan Book of the Dead. It describes an intermediate state called bardo, in which consciousness encounters visions arising from its own mind. The teaching is simple yet profound. When these appearances are recognized as projections of consciousness rather than absolute reality, they lose their power to bind. This brings us to the heart of the final test. As memories and emotions arise, two paths become possible. The first is the path of reaction. Consciousness becomes trapped in every image that appears. Anger awakens anger. Fear awakens fear. Attachment awakens longing. By identifying with these impressions once again, the old patterns are strengthened. The second is the path of witnessing. The memories are seen clearly, but they are no longer mistaken for the self. They are recognized as passing impressions within consciousness. Instead of resisting them or clinging to them, one simply observes with awareness and compassion. The final test is not about which memories appear. It is about whether we become lost in them or remain the silent witness who watches them pass. If this final test awaits every one of us, does that mean we are destined to fail? The ancient sages answered with a clear no. They taught that the preparation for death does not begin in our final moments. It begins in the way we live today. If the mind spends a lifetime reacting to every desire, fear, and emotion, it will react again when those impressions arise at the end. But if it has learned to remain aware without becoming entangled, the final journey becomes very different. So how do we prepare? The first practice is self-observation. Before going to sleep each night, quietly review your entire day as though you were watching a film. Observe your words, your actions, your thoughts, and your emotions without judging yourself. Do not justify your mistakes or take pride in your successes. Simply watch. This simple habit gradually strengthens the witness within. The second practice is completing unfinished karma. Ask forgiveness where you have caused pain. Forgive those who have hurt you. Express gratitude while you still can. Do not leave important relationships burdened by silence, resentment, or pride. Every act of forgiveness removes another weight from the heart. The third practice is a simple meditation on impermanence. Lie down, close your eyes, and imagine that this is the final evening of your life. As your breathing becomes calm, ask yourself, what am I still unable to let go of? Whatever appears first, a person, an ambition, a regret, or a fear, reveals an attachment that still deserves your attention. By working with it now, you weaken its hold long before your final moment arrives. Nature quietly teaches this lesson every single day. Each night, when we fall asleep, we let go of the world for a few hours. Our work, possessions, worries, and identity fade into the background. In that sense, sleep is a small reminder that peace comes only through letting go. Ask yourself, when you fall asleep, is your mind at peace, or is it still carrying the weight of unfinished desires and unresolved emotions? Perhaps the answer to that question is also the answer to how prepared you are for life's final transition. Death is not merely the end of the body. It is a mirror in which no title, no wealth, and no reputation can stand beside us. Only the quality of our own consciousness remains. That is why the greatest preparation for death is not thinking constantly about dying. It is living each day with awareness, compassion, honesty, and inner freedom. Complete what can be completed. Forgive what can be forgiven. Release what no longer serves you. And learn to witness every experience without becoming imprisoned by it. Because when the final moment finally arrives, the greatest victory will not be avoiding death. It will be meeting it with a peaceful mind, an open heart, and the quiet certainty that nothing essential has been left undone.